Alright, welcome to our class today. This is going to be on Superheat and Subcool. We're going to be demonstrating how to properly charge the system up and what to look for your Superheat and Subcool. So we're going to start getting ready to go now. So John is going to hook up this hose set. As you notice, he's taking caps off both of his high side and his low side. He's hooking his low side up first. And now he's hooking up on his high side lines. You need to hook up both line sets when you're trying to do Superheat and Subcool. Okay, now we're going to turn the system on and let it start to equalize out. Now as it's running here, and we're going to let it equalize out, it's going to take about anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. And while that's equaling out, John's going to hold this, and I'm going to get right back over here to hook up our multimeter. This is just a regular UEI multimeter here that we're going to use. Not very expensive, but it does the trick. And it does temperatures and all that. Now, this one is called a multimeter. It does multiple things for you. This is a clamp on thermometer here that we're going to be using, because we want to make sure if you're trying to use the old infrared stuff, you're never going to work. You want to make sure you're using a clamp on thermometer just like this. And we can just set this right on the side here, and I'm clamping it around my suction line on the AC unit, and this will start reading our temperatures. As you see, the temperature is at 54.7, and it's dropping. So the key to what we're playing with here now, or paying attention to here, is our temperatures, as also our gauges on the other side. Our gauge is reading there 30, 35, 40, 45 pounds of pressure on our suction side. And then on our high side over here on this gauge, we're reading at about almost 75, 74, about 170, about 172, 73, somewhere along in that range. And see, our pressures are still jogging back and forth, isn't it? Now it's going up a little bit, so that's why you got to wait for them to equal out. Now we're going to go, we've let it equalize out some, and our pressures are holding steady, and our temperature is holding steady. We're using a spoiling pressure temperature chart conversion chart. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take our pressure reading, which is reading at 50 pounds of pressure, and we're going to convert that over to temperature. So John's finding 50 on his pressure, and he's sliding his finger over. We're working with R22 refrigerant, and we've got 24 degrees, correct? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to write down 50 pounds of pressure equals 24 degrees. Everybody can see that? Now our actual temperature from our thermometer here that we've taken now is reading 48.2. So 48.2. I'm going to sneak on this side so you can see the chart a little bit better. And we're going to subtract 24 from 48.2. 48 degrees, I'm sorry. And that's going to leave us what? 4. 2 from 4 is 2. So our superheat is actually 24 degrees superheat. And our superheat should always be between 10 and 15. So that's telling me what's wrong with our unit. It's undercharged, right? But not necessarily. It could be something else. Don't be so quick to say that it's undercharged. Let's check a few things first. So now we've come inside to check the reason, find out what's wrong with our superheat being so high. And one thing you always want to look for is airflow. So we're going to drop this down. And as you can see, our filter is clogged all the way up. So we know we got an airflow problem. So we're going to take this out. All right, so we're going to put in a new filter. And you see him dating it. When you put his filter in, filter should be the arrows pointing through, because the way these filters work, as air moves across these fiberglass fibers, it creates static electricity. And that's what catches all this, okay? Is that static electricity. Now, are we through here and we go back outside? No, you got to make sure this grill is back on also, because if the grill is not back up there, you don't have your static pressure and it's not going to read right on the outside. So we're going to put this back up. Okay, we went inside, we found out we had a real clogged filter. So we're coming back out now and try to recheck our pressures to make sure we get the proper superheat. And now we're still running about 55, or about 50, I'm sorry. Well, it's dropping down. So now we're at 45. We're getting a better airflow now than what we had. That's why our pressures are dropping, because it's not being hindered. So we're about 45.5 pounds of pressure. And our temperature is reading, it's still dropping. Our temperature is holding now at 49.5. So we'll round it off to 45, and then we'll round it off there to 49. So we got 49 actual temperature, and we got 45 on our chart, and that equals to what? 20. So 20 from 49 leaves 29. So our superheat is 29. So now we can feel confident that our unit is low in refrigerant. So we would need to charge our system up, okay? Because it's very low. Because we always want our superheat to be between 10 and 15. All right, now this is the old analog math and calculator how to do it. They got new machines out now, this Fieldpiece does, and other companies have, that can do this even faster. And we're going to show you that in just a minute. But now we're going to switch over to Subcool. And the only thing that I need to change for this type application is I switch my clamp over to my discharge side of the system. And what we're doing now, we're going to use the high side. Now, you read the label, and it's going to tell you what your subcool is supposed to be. On this particular unit here, the label is missing, so we check the one next to it. There's the label right on the side there. And you'll see that the TXV Super Subcool should be 12 degrees. So we're going to go 12 degrees on that. Okay? So now we're going to use the high pressures. And our high pressure side is at 149. Okay? So we got 149 of pressure, and then we're going to convert that over to temperature.
Closest we get is 150. So we take 150, since we're 1 degree up, it's 82 degrees.
82 degrees, okay? And now we're going to look at our thermometer here, and it's showing I'm 72.9. or 73 now. So we're going to say 73 point, let's just say 73 degrees. We'll round it off. And we're going to stretch 73 from 82. So 3 from 12 is what? 9. And 7 from 7 is what? 0. So we wanted ours to be 12. We're not at 12, right? But I'm going to give you a plus or minus 3 degrees. So if I add 9, 10, 11, 12, I add 3 degrees to it, then my subcool is perfect. Okay? Because I'm going to give you this much to play with, because no two thermometers, no two sets of gauges are ever the same. So we're going to give you just like 3 degrees to play with either way. We're going to show you how to do the same thing, and we're going to disconnect this, and we're going to hook up the auger with the electronics on it. That does everything for you. As you notice, we're not putting our hoses on the ground. When John unhooks them, he hooks them right to the back of his unit up. So no dirt can get put inside your unit. When you drop them on the ground, you'll get little specks of dirt, and then that issues that causes the problem. So John, I'll take them from you. Now this particular machine here does your superheat and your subcool and everything at the same time. Just remember, today we've only been working on R22 system. In a little bit we're going to show you how it works on a 410A system. If it's high side or his discharge side, now he's looking at his suction side. This time he's looking at his clamps. This thermometer clamp on the suction side and the discharge side. This machine here does it all together, everything. Okay? So now with it all hooked up, and it's been running a while, we're going to pull this up here now. And now we're showing our superheat at 33.1. And our subcool, which is supposed to be 12 at 4.9, or it's climbed to 5. So even though if we add 3 degrees to that or take 3 away, we cannot get to 12 with that 5 there. So this unit is undercharged, because anytime your superheat is more than 15, it's going to be undercharged. If it's above the 10 to 15, it's going to be undercharged. Below the 10 to 15, it's going to be overcharged. So by it being 30, it's way up, so this is undercharged. You have to add refrigerant to it to bring your superheat down. Okay, now on the other side here, when you're reading subcool, you see it's a 5.5. We have to do what? That's showing what? It's right opposite than your superheat. But you got to get your superheat together before you can get your subcool together.